Well, as you come into Marshall, Missouri, you probably realize you're in the middle of the country. Saline County, where Marshall is, has got some of the richest farmland in America. And we're very fortunate to have been founded by the Presbyterian Church in 1889 here. So Missouri Valley has a long history with the city of Marshall, and we've had a very good relationship throughout the years. It's a very small town. It's a safe town. It's a very welcoming, warm community. We have small businesses around the square, and they love to see our students come in the door. So it's a very warm, inviting environment, I believe. If you want the city life, you've got to go somewhere else. But if you just want to come spend time with students from other countries, live in a safe place, have a great educational experience, then Missouri Valley is the place to come. So I think you can find almost anything to do here. You can find any subject you're interested in to major in. You certainly have your choice of sports. We work very hard to have activities for students. And you know, for over the last 10 years, we've worked really hard to upgrade our campus so that it's comfortable, safe, warm, and inviting to our students.
Okay, here at Missouri Valley College, we have 400 transfer students out of the around 1,300 regulars, out of our 1,300 student population. So roughly about a third of our student population is made up of transfer students.
I came to Missouri Valley College because of family, my Wentworth family.
I came to Missouri Valley College to play baseball.
I transferred to Missouri Valley College because it was my best opportunity.
I wanted to continue playing softball, so I transferred to Missouri Valley College.
So I actually started off in high school. It was pretty much April, May, end of my senior year. I didn't have any offers. Getting nervous like any other athlete would. I applied at 3 other schools and got accepted academically, but not athletically, so I was planning on going as a walk-on. I actually went to this showcasing, this junior college showcasing my coach had set up for me. Me and another teammate, and some coaches came out, they saw us, they liked what they saw. At that time, I got an offer from Baton Rouge Community College and LSUE. And the week after that, we had another showcase, and my coach got in contact with her previous coach, Coach Tom Hughes from Labette University. And he told her he wanted to come out, he was gonna come out and send some other people to watch me from Wentworth Military Academy and College. And instantly, when I got to the showcase, and the coach showed interest, he told me how much he liked me, he told me how much he wanted me to be there, he liked me as a person, and I accepted that. And that day, I actually signed my letter of intent to go to Wentworth Military Academy and College, me and my other teammate. I signed my letter of intent that day, but it didn't go through, and I had to re-sign it on graduation day. So that's how I should have known from the beginning. It was crazy.
So it begins in high school. I was a sophomore, my brother was a senior, and he was looking for a school to go to. And he went down to Williams Baptist College in Walnut Ridge, Arkansas, ended up getting a scholarship there. So ever since he signed, I just told him that I was gonna go play baseball with him. So whenever my senior year came around, the coach already knew that I was wanting to go play there, and I ended up getting a tryout and making the team, but just as a pitcher. But it was fine, although I wanted to play middle infield. I just thought it'd be cool to play baseball with my brother for 2 more years. First game of the spring, my brother went to go catch a pop-up at second base and shattered the joint in his finger, 90% shattered, had to get reconstructive surgery. So basically he couldn't play baseball ever again. didn't really know after that happened, didn't really know what I was going to do. So towards the end of the year, my coach told me that he was leaving. So I thought to myself, I don't really want to be here for three more years, so this is my time to get out. So once he told us that, I just went and looked, and I looked at Lincoln University in Jeff City and had it all planned out. I was going to go there. A week before I was going up to sign and tour, the coach texted me. He said, I don't know how else to tell you this, but our program is no longer. Like, we're getting rid of it. The school doesn't want to fund it anymore. So it was in the summer. I didn't know what I was going to do because that was my #1 plan. So I went and played in a summer league in Kansas and didn't really get scouted by any teams. So the new coach at Williams ended up texting me and said, hey, we want you to come back, be one of our big pitchers. And so I thought that would be a good idea. So I ended up signing and going back there.
So I had a bit of a difficult senior year. I sprained my ankle. I dislocated my shoulder before season started. In 3 games into my senior year, I sprained my ankle. So I got off to a bit of a rough start, but I ended up strong. I went to AAU after.
What is that?
AAU is travel basketball over the summer. So I got a couple of chances to play in front of some college coaches in the AAU circuit, like in Minnesota, Philadelphia. I've played in Florida, Kentucky, everywhere. So that helped as far as my recruiting goes, and I ended up meeting with Coach Brad Hoyt at John Wood, and I went down for my visit, really liked it there. So I signed and played at junior college at John Wood.
Well, in high school, I was a pretty good player. Through my junior and senior year, I knew I wanted to play in college, so I started trying to get recruited. And I had good stats. I played really good, and by the end of the summer after my senior year, I just didn't get recruited. And it was a real big surprise because I thought for sure my whole life I was definitely going to play in college somewhere. So I had to be a normal person, go to college, work 5 days out of the week, make money, and school was fine, but the worst part of not playing on a team anymore is not being a part of a team. Like, it wasn't much of missing the sport, it was more missing being a part of a team. That was the worst part. And halfway through my first year of college, my friend who was playing at a JUCO texted me and said, hey, we have an opening on the team, you should text the coach. So I texted the coach who I had previously been in contact with, but she was unable to give me a scholarship. And right when I texted her, she replied with, all right, I have the scholarship, I'll send you the letters. So it was a huge surprise, a huge blessing to have that opportunity. It was really out of the blue.
So when I originally got to Wentworth, I knew it was going to be a long journey. My mom and dad actually drove out there and dropped me off. We was going through all these little bitty towns, and I'm like, I didn't know I signed to come out here. Actually, I didn't even come on a visit. I just drive straight there. So got to Wentworth, and they just start throwing all these, it's a military academy, they start throwing all these rules on us, and you do this, you do that, you do this, you do that. Once your parents drop you off, they can't pick you back up. You're just staying here. This is what you are now. So my parents dropped me off, and because they couldn't come back and get me, they just went ahead and went on home, and that was probably the saddest day of my life. it was like, you know, like normal college students, their parents drop them off, help them set up the room, help them do all that. Your parents weren't allowed to come upstairs, so it was literally dropping you off and leaving, so that was pretty tough.
So after the fall, I had a really rough fall. Just didn't really pitch in many games and didn't really do very good. So in the spring, it was kind of a question mark on whether I was JV or varsity, and ended up I didn't make spring varsity team, so I was on JV. And at the beginning, he just told, like the coach told me that it was just going to be minor, like just for right now. And then ended up we weren't having a really good season for varsity towards the end of the year. And the coach kept on telling me that I was going to come back, like, hey, you're going to play, blah, 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 and ended up not seeing a chance on varsity. So after that, I was kind of didn't really know what I wanted to do. I didn't know if I wanted to just quit baseball, just go to school at Mizzou or Missouri State and just focus on that and just get my degree or whatever.
I went on a visit. I also visited a couple of other colleges as well, but John Wood stuck out to me. I like the town. I like the coach. I like the gym there, and you know the apartment, the living situation. So that all was made like I thought that tailored to who I was as a person better than all of the other schools that I visited. My 2 years there were pretty productive. I think I went a long way with my growth as a player and as a person. And so John Wood has pretty deep connections with Missouri Valley College. That connection to play here was pretty easy, and I liked the coach, and my playing style suited the playing style that, you know, goes along with being a Viking here. So that's why I decided to transfer to Valley.
Hey, you got it right here, Katie. Hey, good eye. Hey, you got it right here now, Katie. Looking for yours now. Katie K. Katie K. Katie K.
Not being recruited out of high school was a huge blow, because like I said, I thought for sure, hands down, I would go somewhere. But it was basically my fault. Like, I didn't start playing travel ball early enough. I didn't reach out to coaches early enough. But yeah, it was definitely a blow to my confidence. But not being a part of the team is terrible, especially since I've been in sports since I was 4 years old. But I ended up having a lot of fun doing other sports, but it wasn't a team sport. So even though I was doing good individually, like, it's nice to be a part of a team, but being a normal working class person is not fun. It's not fun at all. Around June, a little bit before June, I crashed on my motorcycle and definitely felt something pop in my knee, but I didn't go to the doctor. Waited for it to heal up a little bit, and on June 20th, I crashed again on my dirt bike really bad and hurt it again. And so me and my dad decided to go get an MRI on it, and it was a torn ACL. But I stayed off it for 2 months, got it back to no pain, full range of motion, everything like that. And then school started, and I was really excited going to a new school, moved to an apartment next to the school. Lake Sumter State College is where I was going. It was 45 minutes from my house in Leesburg, Florida. And I went to 1 day of conditioning, and on before the second day of conditioning, my coach called me in the office, and he told me that the school physician looked at my medical records and saw my MRI and said my ACL was too bad to play. So I had two options. One, don't get surgery and I won't be able to play anywhere ever again, or get surgery and you can play again. So I was basically forced to have ACL surgery, which is 6 to 9 months recovery.
Yeah, I had 3 other offers at the time. I chose Wentworth because my my high school coach, she played on the college level, and the coach, the athletic director, assistant athletic director over there, Tom Hughes, he was her coach. And he just came and told me, he said, I'll take care of you, I'll look out for you, and we're gonna get you to the next level. So I believed in what he was saying, and I felt like being away from home was gonna make me grow into a better person. Yeah, so the best thing out of Wentworth, I have the best of relationships that I get out there. I still talk to the athletic director about once a week. The volleyball coach is actually here at Missouri Valley, Shelby Woodward, and our assistant coach, Andre Scott, is Shelby's fiance, so we knew him and he was gonna be my coach at Wentworth. So it's like I have a little family here. My best friend is actually my roommate here at Missouri Valley. I met her at Wentworth. And another girl, we're just a group of friends, and it's just enjoyable. Not to say that we all hated Wentworth, but we all were complaining about the same rules. We had to march, we had to wear uniforms. They were trying to tell us, you know, you have to do this, you have to do B and C. We marching in practice, we marching into lunch, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You know, we'll do parades. You have to wear the uniform this way. You can only wear black socks and black shoes. It was a lot of different rules. So we all were pretty much complaining about the same things, and that's how I gained pretty much all my friendships at Wentworth. The recruiting, so the recruiting process, it was different for me because after I signed, the head coach actually was fired. So he did his best to try to make it as light as possible. So he told us, of course you're gonna have to wear uniforms, but he said it was khakis and a polo shirt. So I've been wearing that all my life in high school, so I said that's no problem. And they told us, you know, you can use a refrigerator, you can use a TV, you just can't have them in your room. They pretty much just told you won't have to march except in parades, like as lightly as possible. They told you kind of light stuff, and when you get there, it's like, no, you can only use the TV and the microwave in this one room, and you have to get a higher level of ranking to get to that room, and then what didn't allow you to take the test until October. So a lot of military places, they call people like rats. That's the lowest level. So we were new boys, that's the newest level, so we couldn't have many privileges until we were old boys. So it was like, they didn't tell us any of that, and you know, you go to the athletic director, you say, hey, you didn't tell me this, and he's like, yeah, but I know you can make it through. It was a numbers thing. They needed numbers, nobody was there, so it was just, they were trying their best to keep you there. Of course, I was blessed to get first team All-Region my freshman year. I now hold the record for the most charges taken in Wentworth history. I took 31. So it was blessed to have all of that, and to meet coaches, and so many coaches, contacts I've gotten from playing against people for at Wentworth, so I appreciate that.
So I just kind of thought about school. Like, my parents are always big on that I need an education. So I knew that my brother, like the chances of him playing again were really slim. So, and we talked about it, like it wasn't worth me going back if like he wasn't going to be there. Like, that was the main reason why I went to Williams in the first place. But I just was a big question mark of what I was doing. This really made me feel yeah, it was really bad because I didn't know what to do, because it was like I had my plan out and then it was just taken away from me. So then I had nothing.
It was always basketball. I come from a big basketball family. My oldest sister Brianna, played at University of Wisconsin-Green Bay. My younger sister Soraya, played at Southwestern Illinois, and then she went to play at Slippery Rock in Pennsylvania. So basketball has always been a part of my family, and I thought after my senior year and after my 2 years at John Wood, I'm still gonna play. So I went and I had a couple of looks, some D2 looks, some D3 looks. and I wasn't really satisfied with that, so I went to a showcase in Indiana, and I played really well there, and I had a lot of colleges looking at me, and but Missouri Valley I actually didn't really know was recruiting me until late in the process, and so when they stepped in, I thought that was going to be a good fit for me. I had a teammate who was already committed here from John Wood, so I thought, you know, I'll give it a shot and come here and be a Viking.
Well, I got a chance to watch Danilo play several times last year, and what I really appreciated was his energy that he played with on the floor. I thought that he was very tough, and defensively he was capable of changing the game, playing off the ball defense and being able to draw charges.
So I finally, after a year off of school, I was finally out into college playing softball again, and then right at the beginning it got tore away from me right again. And knowing that I would be 2 years off of softball was really tough. Knowing that ACL surgery is one of the worst recovery times you can have, longest, hardest, and it was really tough. Like, I've had surgery before, I've recovered from other injuries, but nothing as big as that. And I was really, really lucky because most coaches who had a kid that they just got there and had a previous injury and had to have surgery would cut them right away. I had other coaches tell my coach that they would have cut me immediately. And so I was really grateful that my coach was a really great guy, and he saw something in me just from 2 days of practice that he kept me around, and I got surgery, and to keep my scholarship basically for that year, I ended up announcing for all of our home games, announcing and doing the scoreboard. So it was really nice to announce. I really enjoyed it. I was pretty good at it, but at any home games, I wasn't in the dugout with the team. And even though I was on the team, I went to all the practices, I traveled with them. Not being able to practice with them the whole entire year, I didn't practice with them one time. I couldn't be on the field. Not being with them in the dugout on home games, it still felt like I wasn't a part of the team because I didn't get to do anything with them. And that was still tough because, like, all the girls, they had, you know, they practiced together, they conditioned together, they were a real family, and even though I was there through all of it, like, it didn't feel like it.
Transition was pretty rough. The second week that I got there, I was pretty much ready to get on the plane to go back to Louisiana. But I knew that I couldn't do that. In order to make my family proud and make myself proud, I would at least have to stick it out for 1 year. So that was my mindset going throughout the whole year. And I just kept telling myself once basketball season started, things would get better. It was probably, I tell everybody all the time, it was the hardest time of my life. So it made you grow up and make you have to make a decision, because the alternative was to leave and owe my student loans still, owe all this money to the school still for leaving. So the alternative was like, you have to make a decision. Are you gonna just leave and owe money, or are you gonna stick it out and try to make the best of a bad situation? Ultimately, we made the best of a bad situation. We complained a lot, but made the best out of a bad situation. When I first got there, I used to ask myself all the time, I say, I know there's some type of plan. It's something I'm gonna gain out of it. And when we left at the end of the year, I was looking back and all the friendships that I gained, the family that I gained from being there, meeting my boyfriend. It was just like everything, it was a reason why I was there, and I gained from it. So going back, if me now had to make the decision to go back to Wentworth, I would. Obviously, I was going to go back this year. But high school me, I wouldn't have gone back.
I chose Lincoln because the coach recruited me mainly. I mean, they needed pitching. They had a really down year, and I had a few buddies that went there. It it was an hour and a half away from home, which Williams was 4, so I was just kind of wanting to get closer to home and just still get to play baseball. I've learned to not take anything for granted, just for the mere fact that, like, especially with going to Lincoln, like I thought that was the place for me, and I was going to go there for sure, and then literally just like that, it was just taken away, and it really kind of made me grow up, just because I have to go contact all these schools by myself, like, because a lot of schools look for if you have the drive to do it, not just if your parents like email them. So it really like taught me how to grow up and like just be me, you know.
During the whole process, I didn't know like how I was going to be able to adjust. This town's a little bit smaller than Quincy, which is where John Wood is, but as far as like adjusting to new people and new teammates, I've always been outgoing, so I didn't think I'd have a problem finding new friends and, you know, being able to gel with the team. But it was actually kind of difficult my first week here. I was sitting by myself at the lunch tables and, you know, stuff like that. I didn't really get to know the team, you know, as quickly as I did at John Wood or even in high school, but eventually I got adjusted and now things are pretty good. Good times in the transfer process. So, as I said earlier, you know, it's kind of hard when you're just now getting to a new place from a different school, especially being 2 years into college already as a transfer student. You know, you just gotta, one of the difficult things is making friends. That's gonna be the same difficulty everywhere you go. Kind of just learning how to adjust to new people. It's a completely, I mean, it's a new town, but, you know, it has similarities, but you kind of just gotta figure out, you know, how to make your own way and how to make your own friends. And I think that's the biggest difficulty between the two, and some of the similarities are, you know, it's small, so it's not really like Chicago. That's where I'm from, so it's not really like Chicago where you'll just see a ton of people everywhere as soon as you go out. You know, it's really a college town, so that's why I like it too.
So, had surgery, I recovered, and by summertime I was playing again. So I worked real hard over the summer to get back, and when my 3rd year of college came, I was finally playing in my 1st year of softball. And it was, for me, it was a lot of pressure because it's like, I've been telling everyone I'm a good player, I can do it. It was worth waiting for me to come around. And so it was a lot of pressure for me to prove that to them, like I was worth waiting for. And it was a struggle at first. I hadn't seen live pitching in basically 2 years. It took a while for my hitting to come around, but my coach was really a great coach. He told me the whole time, like, it's gonna come back, you know. And my fielding was good, and I had no pain in my knee, so that's the best part. I had no problems with it. It was still really weak, but I had full range of motion, not really full mobility, but I was doing good. And by the spring season came around, throughout the whole spring season, I had the best year in my life of softball, career-wise, stats-wise, fielding, hitting, contributing. I started almost every game. I earned all conference as a utility player. So it was really good to know that, like, my coach waited for me that long and I was able to produce for him. And I would definitely say I learned, it's so cliche, but to appreciate the game more, especially after being out not 1 but 2 years. I appreciate it a lot more, and the coach I had was different than the one that recruited me, but he was really like super positive, laid back, like not really laid back, but super positive, super encouraging, and like I'm very tough on myself and other people when I play. So it was, I guess, I tried to be calm. It like made me a little bit calmer, or I tried to be more positive about the game, which still working on that one, but.
Okay, so they had a faculty and staff meeting, you know, and all the faculty and staff, and our coaches all texted us during the meeting and said, come to the gym. And we kind of had our individual meetings, and they told us to put our phones away, and kind of just broke down to us that on the 31st, the school won't be closing. So basically no one has a scholarship next year. You gotta find somewhere else to go to school. So it was all I mean, like any other person, when you get told that next year you don't have anywhere to play, you don't have anywhere to go to school, you panic. So we all panicked and was trying to figure out, like, how can we fix this? How can we make it better? Like, what's going on? We all panicked. Everybody was like, we're bums now. Instantly bums. I had a college, I had everything, now I'm a bum. So originally when the school first shut down, like I said, Coach Scott had just accepted his position at Wentworth. Obviously he didn't have a job anymore. He had just left being the GA from over here, graduate assistant for the men's program. So I had 2 tryouts, one at KCK, one at Park. Both of them offered me. And I had LeTourneau University. I had a couple offers from Texas. But ultimately, I felt like I asked Coach Scott to come to Wentworth because I knew the player he could make me. I knew that he's an All-American talent. So I know he knows a lot about basketball. I know he's a great person. I'm close with him and his fiance. It's like having a family. So at the end of the day, I just made the decision to come out here with him. But they did a great job of placing people. Our coaches were making film for us, calling coaches for us, trying to place everyone. But of course, you know, it's not going to get done. But you do your best you can.
Chardonnay Parker, it's very interesting, from Louisiana. I was supposed to be the head coach at Wentworth Junior College until it shut down. I was actually hired about a week before it shut down, so it was kind of a big fiasco that went down. During my time there when I was somewhat the head coach before I got rehired here back at Valley, I wanted to make sure that I could find schools for all the possible returners that were supposed to be coming back to Wentworth. During that time, Chardonnay actually she had several offers on the table, but she was unsure where she wanted to go. I knew she was kind of waiting on me to decide what I was going to do to make sure I had something, and if I was going to stay in coaching, she wanted to come and follow me, knowing that I would make her a better person off the court, but a better basketball player at the end of the day. And then I got a call back from Valley, which is an alumni for me. And I took the assistant coaching job here at Missouri Valley to help the women's basketball program. As soon as I took that job, not even 48 hours passed, she decided to come here no matter what the scholarship offer was. And I think she just wanted to be around good people. And Chardonnay is one of the people on and off the court. From my perspective, she's definitely someone I consider family already, and she's still a student here at school just because of the past relationship that we already had at Wentworth and how it's carrying over here. And every day she's gotten better on the basketball court, and I think that's just going to make her, and from my perspective, there's more to basketball, because she always talks to me. I talk to her more about life, because one day that basketball will go flat. So we always talk about our relationship on and off the court and how we think it may transcend to once basketball's said and done. So she's become someone who I can say is part of my family.
After summer ball, I tried out at Northwest, and they weren't really interested in me throwing. And then I was just kind of like, well, do I want to apply at Mizzou and just focus on school or whatever? And so I ended up applying here and sending in my recruiting form, and Coach Matt got to me like in the next few days. And what was really weird was I had wisdom teeth surgery, so I couldn't come up here and actually try out for like 2 or 3 weeks because you're not supposed to do anything afterwards. And at the time, all I had was pitching videos because I was a pitcher only at Williams. So I sent him that, and they ended up offering me something over that. And once I was feeling better and I could actually come up here and try out in person, then I came up and they let me hit, and that was pretty much a big thing. Is I missed hitting. It's not very much fun giving up runs and not being able to score them. So like maybe being able to play shortstop is like really good for me, and I just missed hitting, I guess. So that was like the major thing. So here, once I tried out, they knew that I was a pitcher only, and once I tried out, we hit in the cage, and like it's been a while since I've seen live pitching, and they know that, but I feel like they were really interested in that, and they knew that I was, like I would give it my all, because I really missed just being in the field and doing other things besides just throwing. And so they've been really good about me just taking reps and giving me the time, because like once you're out of it for a while, you're like, if you need to go to third base in a certain situation, like I wasn't doing that, and it just took me like multiple games to get back into that and just really getting the feel of shortstop again.
Between John Wood and Missouri Valley, the coaches, they're pretty like good pals, I guess you could call them. So the fact that they communicated with each other about me, and the fact that I came here on my visit and I saw the kind of coach that Coach Lance was and the kind of team that he wanted to run, that was very, it was similar to the reasons why I chose John Wood. So having that, and then also the towns are both pretty small. Well, Quincy's a little bit bigger than Marshall, but you know, it's still everyone knows you kind of town. So that was all right with me. I've always been the kind of person to reach out and, you know, find new friends anyway, so it never really bothered me. That's why I liked Marshall. I really liked the basketball when I first got here. We were running open gyms, and I saw the talent level that was here. A lot of people were playing, so that really excited me as a person and as an athlete, because, you know, I like to challenge myself. So that was fun.
And then when I started trying to get recruited for next level, almost all the good schools, Division IIs, and like I didn't even try for Division I, but all the good Division II schools, they were, even NAIs, they were done recruiting by that time. And most of the time you start recruiting as a freshman, not as a sophomore. So it was real tough. I emailed a ton of schools. They wouldn't even email back, or they'd email back saying, you know, we're full. And it's tough to get people to look at you and you only have 1 year stats. And out of the blue, my coach got an email from Missouri Valley College asking for any player basically with a 3.5 GPA or higher. And I've been fortunate enough to have a 4.0 all 3 years so far. And I looked at the school. They had they had a major that would work for me. And I emailed them back and came up for a visit. Wasn't real impressed at first. I was like, ugh, what am I getting myself into? But once I talked to the coach, he's a great guy. They're both really nice. Gym's really nice. School's beautiful. So it was my only option, really. I had no other offers. So I took it. I wanted to play some more. Wanted to get some more scholarship money. So now I'm here at Missouri Valley College, 17 hours away from my house. But I love it so far. I like the team. Not doing as good as I wish I could be doing, but still doing pretty good. Doing good in class, which I guess is the most important thing. But still no injuries, so that's the key point, to try to end these last 2 years off strong.
We thought she was a great fit. I mean, academically, grades were there. She came and worked out with the team and did a great job, I think, fitting in with the kids along with her offensive production. So we're happy with her so far.
The transferring process coming over was pretty easy, because like I said, Coach Scott and his fiance is here, and my best friend. That friend-wise is easy. I found it easier to make friends and relationships over here, because at Wentworth we didn't give anyone a chance because we were so busy complaining. So I definitely appreciate all the friendships that I've started making since I've been here. Well, when I first walked in to the housing in Mac, I looked up and I said, "There's no cameras." It feels, but my roommate and I said it feels fun, and you know, we're at a regular college and stuff, but we're so busy in the Wentworth mindset. Most of the time we go to bed at 10:50, because that's what time you have to go to bed in Wentworth. Most of the time we don't go out, You know, it's just, you gotta break out of the Wentworth habits. And funny to say that we complained and demanded that we didn't do that at Wentworth, and now we clean our room every day. We make our beds every morning. We sweep every day. We do little things like that every day that Wentworth made you do, and we just fall into routine now. So I find classes are a little bit more challenging because there's nobody over your back saying, you have to go to class, you have to do this. So many days it's like, but you know, as a basketball team, we can only have so many misses, but it's still not as demanding as Wentworth, you know. So, and the classes are definitely harder, and it's a different transition. I find that at Wentworth, I used to get a handout every day from every teacher. We're gonna do this, 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 this. And over here, it's like, it's on Moodle, figure it out. So that's extremely tough for me, but I mean, you just gotta find your learning style. We were all nervous because we had friends that transferred, none of their credits, none of them went through, and you know, in our head, we like, I just wasted a year because I wasted a year eligibility because the school's not gonna be open anymore. And if I don't get any credits, I'm gonna waste a whole educational year. But Missouri Valley, Columbus, Park, and I believe one other school, when they heard about Wentworth closing, they already agreed that they'll be able to take all of your credits.
Once we hit, I mean, either way, we're okay.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing, which is why go halfway and then start with paper.
Missouri Valley actually took a lot more than I expected than from my old school because it was a private Christian college, which really helped out, but just one of my classes, which drops me below the level, but it's cool. I'm happy with everything. I'm coping really good. I mean, these schools are really different. My Williams was around 400 students with like commuting students too, so like everybody knew everyone. It was a really strict school, which was good for me. I really do feel. But this is just more laid back. The coaches are I really like the coaches. The guys, I've made more friends here, like more close friends than I did at my old school. Like I feel wanted, and that's all I can ask for.
Well, Drake was a good ball player. Came in, did a workout for us. He had good skills we were looking for. We were needing to find a position that he played as far as middle infield, and he also pitches. We're always looking for pitchers, and he's a quality kid. He came from a good background, and he's a hard-working kid that we've seen in the past, and we wanted to get him here and see what he could do to help our program.
Overall, I feel like my first fall season here at Missouri Valley went really good. It was nice just getting out there, getting back at shortstop since I've been away from it for so long. But in my last fall game in Sedalia, I was taking a swing and I felt my left shoulder pop out of place. And instantly I knew that it wasn't good. But we ended up getting an MRI, and they just thought that it was my labrum. So we had surgery on Halloween, and I woke up to them saying that I tore my rotator cuff too. So it went from 12 weeks out to 16 weeks out. But I feel like I'm going to be back for the spring. Just miss a few weeks. For therapy, I'm just doing like range of motion stuff because if you don't use it, then you're going to lose it. So then I'll eventually use like bands just to strengthen it and then make sure that I won't tear it again. But it's just a long process. But overall, I feel like I'm doing pretty good. It's weird because like I can't push it too much or else I'm going to hurt myself. But like I have to push myself just the right amount. At first, I mean, like just putting on a shirt was like really difficult, and like showering, I mean, I could barely even reach my hand over, like this is how high I could reach it. So, I mean, as of right now, I'm not in much pain, and it doesn't really affect me. I guess I kind of got used to it.
I've been coping pretty well. So I mean, you just gotta. Social media is huge. So find your friends through there. You know, go out, do things, be social, and that's kind of always the person that I've been. So I've been really fortunate to find a bunch of different people I can talk to and hang out with and do a bunch of different things with, as far as the social side. And so coping has been pretty easy. Life at school. I really like hanging out with athletes, you know. I mean, that's, I think that goes for a lot of athletes at the school. But other than that, you know, I partake in school activities. Like I went and played Cards Against Humanities with a bunch of random people in the library, and that was actually really fun because I like the game. So, you know, it's just about branching out. I do photography as well. So I've had a couple of people tell me they want to do photo shoots and stuff like that. So, but in cars, I like doing cars, photo shoots with cars and stuff like that too. I also like music. When you have, you know, things like art and in sports, it's not hard to find something in common with a bunch of different people. So as far as like my classes and stuff go, like I had some classes that transferred over and some classes that didn't, and that of course affects any athlete when it comes to eligibility or GPA and stuff like that. So that was actually one of the things, as soon as I got here, that was able to be figured out. You know, people in the office were very helpful. I was able to get my transcript over with ease. Scholarships and everything were taken care of. My FAFSA was taken care of. So that was, it sounds more difficult than it is, but you know, people at Missouri Valley really helped me with that. So you know, it was pretty easy. If I were to change something, I would probably change how I came about the first week, because that was a bit difficult for me. I would come in here, I wouldn't really talk to anybody. I knew my teammate, of course, who committed here as well. But that was about it. And you know, I'd never really been shy, but it was a bit overwhelming at first. And I eventually overcame it. But that's probably the only thing that I would change in the transfer process, was just trusting myself and being more myself when I got here, instead of, you know, hiding.
Never had a problem with like being away from home for long. It is different. Like I do miss my parents, but I'm lucky enough to have like really good friends, really good parents that they've already came up and visited. I miss my cat, which is surprising, but and my brother. But other than that, it's been. I was lucky enough to make friends on the first weekend of school, which made it a lot easier. But so far, it's been pretty easy transition. Transferring wasn't really hard. Both my JUCOs were about the same, very small class sizes, taught the same way basically. Even up here, that's why I really was excited to come to a small school, is because I learn a lot better if I have a lot of one-on-one. I like to ask questions in class. So transferring up here, like the actual process wasn't hard, you know, send transcripts, fill out a bunch of forms. Filling out forms is the most annoying, but I knew that the classes here were small, and my program's pretty small too, so our classes are really small. I would have the same teachers for a lot of stuff, so they've all been very similar, class size, teacher experience wise. I feel like here there's just tests all the time. Like I have 1 or 2 tests every week. I feel like I never had tests before, so it's a little frustrating as of now, but that's probably about the only difference. Oh, and there's a cafeteria here. Never had that before. Or a dorm. I've never lived in a dorm either. So those 2 things are different. How do you like this? The caf's a little bit bad because I eat way too much food that I should be eating or used to eat. The dorms, I got lucky. I got a nice dorm, I think. I like my roommate, so I'm used to living with other people, just not in the same room. But it's good so far. I'm used to it already. Well, it's unfortunate I didn't play for 2 years, but throughout all of it, I learned a lot. It made me a stronger person, I would say, for sure. I enjoy softball a lot more than I used to. And now that it's coming to an end, I'm enjoying it a lot more because I know it's about to be over. But it's been a hard, long process, like getting to the point of playing. But now that I have been playing, it's been good. It's good stuff. Yeah, it's definitely been worth it for sure. I think coming up here, like it was a little tough. I didn't know how I would react, but it's been a lot better than I thought it was going to be. So it's been a good experience. I see the good in a lot of bad, though. I try to pull positives out of tough situations. So.
I'm definitely happy to come here and give me an opportunity to play college basketball again, and I love it.
Overall, I'd say I'm really happy that I transferred here. I made a really good group of friends, and as a team, I feel like we're more of a family, and that's something that I lacked in the past.
I am happy I transferred to Missouri Valley College because it shows I've really noticed my growth from my freshman year till now.
So far, I'm happy with my decision because I have a lot of good friends. I like almost all the girls on the softball team, and I like all my professors.